The derivative of sine, cosine, tangent, and secant, cotangent, cosecant is listed right here. Okay, this section is on the derivative of trig functions. Now, when it comes to trigonometry, a lot of it is memorization. Actually, you have to remember that, for example, derivative of sine is equal to cosine, derivative of cosine equal to negative sine, derivative of tangent is secant squared, and derivative of secant is equal to secant tangent. And derivative of cotangent is negative cosecant squared. And last but not least, the derivative of cosecant equal to negative cosecant cotangent. Now, once you know these, you just have to apply and combine with what we learned from before, especially chain rule, mostly chain rule, and sometimes you run into the other chain rule and power rule, of course. But and sometimes go into maybe product and quotient, but mostly chain rule and power rule. So here's some examples. Okay, like for example, the first one, let's start with something simple. If f of x equal to sine of 2x cubed, now 2x to the third power. Now remember that from before, derivative of sine is cosine. So we just take the derivative of this. Okay, so sine become a cosine of 2x cubed. But then chain rule kick in. Then we need to multiply times what? Times the derivative of what's inside. Inside 2x cubed. So the derivative of this is 6x squared. Same thing with the second one here. If f of x equal to cosine of radical 3x, now, so take the derivative. The derivative of cosine is just simply negative sine of whatever the function, right? So radical 3x. Then we need to use chain rule to take the derivative of what's inside. Now, derivative of what's inside, well, let's put it on the side here. Okay, remember, radical 3x is the same as 3x to the 1/2 power. Then applying power rule, okay, that give you 1/2 times the 3, so 3/2 x to the negative 1/2 power. Okay, and so here what do we have? This is where I get this part. Okay, so again, the derivative of cosine is negative sine of radical 3x. Then the derivative of the radical 3x is equal to 3 over 2 times radical x. When we simplify this, that's how we get our final answer. So remember, chain rule still applies. Okay, let's look at the tangent function here. If f of x equal to tangent of x over x plus 1. Now, this is where you can see a quotient here. So we know quotient rule is going to be at play. So tangent, when you take the derivative, becomes secant squared. So secant squared of x over x plus 1. Then the derivative, what's inside? So we apply the chain rule. Now, when we apply to the chain rule, since the part of the chain rule we're going to apply to is a quotient, then we do the quotient rule. So the quotient rule says the bottom square and then the top is derivative of the top times the bottom minus the top times the derivative of the bottom. So once you simplify this a little bit, okay, when you distribute that, x and x cancel out, so you're left with 1 over x plus 1 squared times what's in the front here, secant square x over x plus 1. Okay, here's another example for cosecant. So we know derivative of cosecant is negative cosecant cotangent. So negative cosecant right here, cotangent x cubed plus x plus 1. Then the derivative of what's inside here is 3x squared plus 1.